Okay, let's talk about bends today. So the technique of bending is when we hit a note and instead of sliding up to it or playing it some other way, we stay on the same fret and we bend the string by pushing either up or down. Okay? As a basic rule, the first three strings, 1, 2, and 3, you'll bend up, and strings 4, 5, and 6, you'll bend down. An easier way to say it is to just bend into the center of the guitar. So these notes, I would bend up, and these notes I would bend down. Okay. Now the acoustic guitar is not the best guitar to do bends on because typically the strings are thicker, the action's a little bit higher, and so bending strings can be quite difficult. So if you're trying this on an acoustic guitar and you're a newer player, it may prove to be a little bit difficult and a little bit frustrating and dig into your fingers a little bit. So if you've got an electric, I would try this technique on an electric first. Okay. So when you're doing this, you want to make sure that when you hit the note and you bend it up, you're applying some pressure down towards the fretboard and some pressure across the fretboard. What I find a lot of people do at first is they'll bend the note and they'll push up, and the string will either slip out from underneath their finger, or they won't apply enough pressure to the fretboard and it tends to just stop. Okay, so make sure you're putting a little bit of pressure towards the fretboard as you're doing this. It's a technique that takes a little getting used to. Typically, like 99% of the time when we're bending a note, we want to bend to a pitch that is harmonic with our scale. So typically half steps and whole steps are what we're bending to. You could bend higher than that, 1.5 steps and 2 whole steps. Almost impossible on the acoustic guitar. On the electric, it's a little bit easier again. But we're just going to cover half step and whole step bends, since that's going to cover like 99% of all the bends that you'll end up doing. Okay, so a great way to practice this pitch-wise is to hit the note above it and then bend into it. So you have a reference note. Okay, you can do this all over the neck. Okay, this will work great to build your bending to be intonated correctly. Okay, great technique. Don't just bend into something. You've got to be bending into the note that you're looking for. Okay, so that's a half step bend, and a whole step bend would be like there. It's a whole step. So that's your practice there. Hit the note first, bend into it. Okay, go experiment all around the neck with this, all right? You're going to find that strings 4, 5, and 6 don't bend as easy as 1, 2, and 3 do, and that's where most of the bends occur. So have at it. Let's keep going.